Hey guys, this is Zara Gaming, and we're doing a retake of the last Minecraft in chat I posted, which I'm going to delete, on the account of I said the wrong name. But anyway, let's get started, and I'll give you a little context once we get in the world. So, after I delete the last video, which I don't think anybody's watched, so it's not that big of a deal, but I was talking about Midas and the Golden Touch because OSP had released a video on it, and oh my god, I said Minos the entire video. For those of you who know Greek mythology, got an ad, I swear, my internet is off. But Minos was the king of Crete and, adoptive father to the Minotaur. He's often seen as the person in control of the Minotaur in the story. But Midas is the guy that got the golden touch from Dionysus. I said Minos the entire video. So I was kind of peeved about that, so I'm redoing it. So, yeah, OSP posted a video a couple days ago about Midas and the Golden Touch, and they highlighted two stories of his. One being the very obvious Golden Touch, and the one being a less obvious story. Though I will admit I've heard that story before, but I just never connected it with Midas. It was just connected to some random king. I never connected it to Midas. Yeah, but the story, I think most people know the story of they went over the Golden Touch, which was a pretty obvious story, though, an interesting thing they brought up, most people have read the version or heard the version where Midas has a little daughter that he accidentally turns to gold. That was never part of the original story, or the story used in Greek mythology. That was added much later. I think they said 1800s. I'm not sure though. But I do like it. But back to what I was talking about. Yeah, I am glad that they added that into the story of the little girl, because that definitely made it a lot more interesting. In the original Greek, he kind of just was like, this is a horrible idea, when he couldn't eat food. Also, really dumb question. Drinking. How does that work? I don't know if that was ever referenced in the myth, but like, what happens with all the food, with all like the drink, anything he tries to drink? Cause like it couldn't, would it turn to solid gold or would it not? Like, now I'm curious. Yeah, and the second story they mentioned was, well, I've heard this story originally before, and I'll tell you the one that I heard. It was about a king, and something had happened, and he had donkey ears. And the only person that knew the secret was his barber, or the person that did his hair. And at one point, the barber could no longer keep the secret, so he dug a hole and told it, like, it was no longer physically capable of keeping the secret, because, like, it's been causing him too much stress or whatever. So he dug a hole and told the secret into the ground.
Please pardon the interruption. We did not do announcements this morning.
I just listened to an announcement, so I kind of forgot precisely where it was, but I'll try to go from where I remember. So the barber dug a hole in the ground and whispered the secret into the hole. And eventually, I guess a farmer came and like planted seeds, like wheat, planted a wheat field over where he had whispered the secret. And every time the wind blew, everybody in a nearby area would hear the secret. And the same story applies to Midas and I want to sleep. Thank you. Except in a bit of context, how he got the donkey ears was he after the whole golden touch shenaniganery, he went on a more secluded life, and he was up in a mountain forest, and Pan, the god of nature, I believe, or is often depicted as one, happened to be there, and he was playing music for the nymphs and the dryads, I believe. Possibly some satyrs, I'm not sure. But Pan at one point boasted that he was better at playing than Apollo. So of course Apollo is like, my name, and shows up and's like, haha, you are wrong. And there's a little competition of sorts. And they have the local mountain god be the judge. Which, I mean, pretty nice. From the way it was interpreted, it doesn't appear like there was any ill will between the competitors. It was more like oh, okay, that's the way it went kind of thing. But Midas has the bright idea to come out of his hiding spot and start booing Apollo, because that's, like, not a horrible idea at all. JK, that is probably one of the worst things you could do if you're in a Greek myth. If you're in a Greek myth, do not ever smite a deity. It's like asking for a death sentence. So, to punish him, I think it was Apollo, but it could have been Pan, gave him donkey ears, and he went back to being king or whatever. And to hide this fact, he wore a turban, which is like a hat of sorts. I'm not sure about the specifics of it. But yeah, that's how he hid the fact he had donkey ears, until his barber kind of buried the secret in a hole, and then reeds grew out of the hole, and it would whisper the secret every time the wind blew. So that was interesting. Also, to explain a little bit better about what I was so irritated about, that I decided, you know what, I'm just going to redo this video, because I usually do one takes. Like, I'll take one video and be like, okay, this is good. Like, this will be okay. Minos is the king of Crete. Specifically the king of Crete around the time that the Minotaur was born. So life's not going too good for him. But he was definitely seen as like an antagonist throughout like the entire story of like this would include Theseus, because Theseus slayed the Minotaur with the help of Minos' daughter Adnorani. I think that's how it's pronounced. Oh, there's a creeper. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Come on. No. It's too thick. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, man. Honestly, that boat should have been able to fit just fine. Oh no, creeper. Dang it! I have to restart now. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, that was Minos, and that's why I felt the need that I needed to, like, remake this particular video. So, I think I'm gonna call it quits here, and I'll make some more stuff, and maybe make a base in my next video. I hope you all, if you liked, please consider subscribing. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye!